About what? I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
You said I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
Man, go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Go ahead.
You dreaming, man. You talking in your dreams, man.
Fight.
What about the Terence Crawford fight? I'm tired of answering questions about it. He already said millions of times that he not fighting me or looking my way. So I'm just tired of answering no questions, you know. And if a fight happened, it happened. You know, I wanted it to happen, but if not, yeah.
So like right now, you got Boots Ennis in your weight class.
Definitely.
What do you think about him?
Oh, he's very, very talented. He's unproven, but he's very talented.
Yeah.
You know, the eye test tells it all. You know, he's got the it, you know, but we haven't seen him against any elite fighter. We've never seen him tested. So until then, you know, we just going to keep saying, oh, Boots, 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 until he meet that fighter that's...
Terence and Boots just went head-to-head in a live chat, and things got wild. Boots wasted no time, boldly saying he's ready to fight right now at 150. But Crawford didn't hesitate to shut him down, making it clear that at this stage of his career, he's only chasing the biggest fights, nothing less.
Consider going back down to 154 and face Jaron Ennis, the guy who prepared Canelo Alvarez for this fight.
No. I ain't going down 150.
Another thing Boots said that really stirred things up was that he hasn't faced anyone who's proven they're on his level. The moment those words dropped, fans lost it, because that wasn't just fighters talking anymore. It felt like a line had been drawn.
Devin Easy, you could have fought me.
You jumped up out of my sanction body to go fight in the IBF, so what I know. If it don't matter, catch up.
Yo, he picked Devin
Catch
Easy.
up.
Devin Easy was way under.
You just said it don't matter. Catch up. I'm talking about before that.
He not about it. We already know he not about what he's talking about.
I'm not about what? I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
You said I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
Man, go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Go ahead.
You dreaming, man. You talking in your dreams, man.
Fight.
He made it clear, no tune-ups, no more waiting around. He's tired of being on standby. And after that, everyone felt the same thing. If these two ever sign the papers, it's going to explode like a bomb. Now, after that fiery back and forth between Crawford and Boots, it was time to bring Pops into the mix. Boosey Ennis jumped in like a dad walking into a PDA meeting, ready to have a word with the principal.
Man, listen closely. Make that fight. You know, we want that fight. You know what I mean? I said, you know, we wanted him or either Spence. It didn't make no difference as long as we get the fight. We'll see where we coming from. Right now, we ain't worrying about Crawford. We gonna clean 147 now, and then we gonna move to 154. If he there and he got a belt, we coming after him.
He really didn't hold back. He said something along the lines of, listen, we never ducked Crawford. When the bill gets too high, the only thing I ever turn down is the thermostat. That's the sound of an old-school fighting dad right there. And honestly, you have to love how he pushed back on the whole narrative. Like, really, bro? Crawford could have just called Boots himself. Instead of going through so many middlemen, it started to look like a pyramid scheme.
We're gonna talk about it and we're gonna discuss what we're gonna do with with Terence and Boots. That's what, you know what I mean? I said, yeah, well, if you want to fight, just let me know. That's just what Steven said, right? And they said, well, we'll call you later on. Never called them back. That's what happened. So they trying to say that we never turned the fight. I talked to Terence last night. We never turned the fight down. We've been winning a fight.
It was also pretty funny when Boosey told Crawford, you fought Avanesian when you could have fought us. You skipped the steak dinner and went for the Happy Meal instead. Wild, but honestly, kind of true. Fans don't care about the back and forth. They just want to see these lions go at it in the ring. And if this fight actually happens, you'd better grab some popcorn, because there won't be a single dull round in those 12.
You could have fought us, but you gonna fight Avanesian. And then I said, Avanesian, you could have fought us. And then Terence said, well, Boots could have been number one. All you had to do is call us. We would have took that fight. You didn't have to fight Avanesian. Avanesian, whatever.
Avanesian ranked in the WBO?
Way behind us. You know what I mean? So if you really wanted to fight us, you could have fought us.
It's okay, because finally, Roy Jones Jr. stepped in with that signature wisdom of his, right after Boosey came in swinging and reminded everyone that Crawford could have called Boots instead of Avanesian. And honestly, when Roy talks boxing, nobody does it like him. He's not just a Hall of Famer, he's the cheat code.
Boots versus Terence Crawford, what does that look like?
I don't know yet, cause we haven't seen Boots in against a guy that has touched him good enough to really test his chin. So we don't. That's the only thing we don't know about him yet. We don't know if he can take the real punch yet because we haven't seen it. But as far as the skill goes, he got everything. And that fight could be a very difficult fight because
Roy laid it out straight. Boots has everything you could ask for. But the real question is, has that chin truly been tested yet? You can be fast, slick, and light on your feet, but until a sharpshooter like Bud cracks you clean, no one really knows whether you're made of steel or glass.
the guy is talented and has the skill level that Boosey has. Anything can happen, but don't get it wrong. Bud has that skill level too, so.
Roy said this fight isn't just interesting, it's a chess match where one wrong move could mean instant checkmate. And when Roy, a man who's basically a walking highlight reel, says both fighters are operating at that elite level, you know it's real. The truth is, that's exactly why fans like us are obsessed with the idea of Crawford versus Boots. It's not just about who's smoother, faster, or stronger, it's about watching how long the young lion can survive once the king decides to bite back.
Reality is, Jaron Ennis didn't force his team to make this fight and say, listen, Steven, I'm signed to you and Showtime. I'm not signed to the PBC and Al Heyman. You need to do what's best for my career and make this fight happen. And he didn't do that. And the rest is history.
Boots has been nearly impossible to beat so far, but Bud is like the final boss in a video game. You can't take him down just by being good. You need perfect timing, patience, and pure heart. This fight isn't just about finding out if Boots is the real deal or what'll happen next. It's about seeing whether Crawford's legacy gets another jewel added to its crown, or if the torch finally gets passed. Either way, we win, because this is the kind of fight that reminds everyone why boxing is alive and electric.
Look, Jaron Ennis against Terence Crawford is the fight. And that can be at 54, it can be at 60. You know, obviously we've got Lima to take care of first, but that for me is one of the great, crossover fights, because Boots is the changing of the guard guy. And Crawford's the guy that's been there and done it all and just proved, that he's still very...
Okay, so Roy Jones Jr. basically said Boots has the full package, but that chin? Still a big question mark. Then Timothy Bradley jumped in, like, hold on, don't get carried away. Crawford's still got some mountains to climb. And honestly, I love that. Bradley always keeps it real, greatness doesn't just happen overnight. You earn it. Guys like Benavidez Jr. and the puzzle master Bivol are the ones who truly put that greatness to the test.
Benavidez, damn, if Benavidez come back down to 168, man, that's another crazy matchup for Terence Crawford. Because, again, look, with the skill set of Crawford and everything else he brings, right? These guys have skills too, and they bigger than he is. See, and that's difficult.
And honestly, there's truth in what Bradley's saying. Crawford beating Canelo was like pulling the sword of power straight out of the stone, and if he dares to chase giants at 168 or above, the danger becomes almost mythic. But this isn't about whether Bud can win, it's about who he is. He's a thinker in a world full of fighters built like machines, and that's what fans live for. Let me put it this way, Bradley might sound like he's pouring cold water on Crawford's celebration, but he's really turning up the heat. Because when a former champion warns that Crawford could lose if he plays with fire against those monsters, you know the fight is real, and it's the kind that will define his legacy.
So, I mean, look, if Crawford can go down and face that dude, bro, man, whoo, Crawford's legacy, everybody will be tuning in just to see Terence Crawford's greatness, because he's a mega star now. So it don't matter who Terence fight, everybody gonna be tuning in to see the greatness.
I also loved how Bradley playfully poked at Floyd, telling him to relax and just enjoy the ride. I've never heard a sit-down moment like that before. Champ. In the end, Crawford stands in this rare position where the entire boxing world tunes in, whether he wins, loses, or draws, just to see if he can solve the puzzles everyone else avoids. And really, isn't that what makes fighting so beautiful? These battles aren't meant to be easy. They're the grand stage where you either become a legend or take the hit for daring to face the man everyone warned you about. That's why we just can't look away.
Bivol fight. Yeah, on this channel, if you stay tuned on this channel, y'all know that Bivol is a miracle fight. Yeah, he's a miracle fight. Terence Crawford may need a miracle beating that dude right there. Styles make fights. I tell you folks all the time, styles makes fights. That's what it is. And Bivol got the style to give Terence Crawford fits. He got the size to give him fits. He got the footwork to give him fits. He got the jab.
Now that we've talked it through, Bradley cooled things down a bit with his usual calm. But when it comes to Benavidez and Bivol, it feels like fight night all over again, especially when coach Calvin Ford starts dropping bombs. The man didn't even blink. He said straight up that Crawford could have stopped Canelo but chose to be humble about it. Just think about that, the pound-for-pound king treating Canelo like it's a friendly sparring session, saying, "All right, champ, you can leave with your pride intact." That's not just fight IQ, that's fighting with grace. And Calvin was spot on. Canelo was trapped in the matrix, throwing everything but the kitchen sink, while Crawford calmly read each move like scrolling through last night's Twitter feed.
No, I say it's not crazy because I predicted. I said Canelo was going to get old in the ring that night. No disrespect to Crawford. He did a good. Crawford could have stopped him. He could have. Me being a coach and watching how the fight was going on, he could have stopped him. And I know he's saying it in his mind, but he was being humble of Canelo. He was being humble, and it was a great fight, and it was good talk for the.
And Calvin didn't hesitate when he said it. He flat out crowned Crawford. "Bud is this generation's guy," he said, "the one carrying the torch after Floyd." Then he dropped the wildest what if of them all, Floyd versus Crawford, even just as an exhibition. Be honest, that's the kind of fight we'd all pay big money to see. Forget the Logan Paul shows, give us Bud and Floyd playing chess with gloves on. But here's the best part, Calvin made it sound like Crawford didn't just win, he evolved. He became the ultimate boxer boss. And that's why we love these breakdowns, because they remind us that the real flex isn't always knocking someone out. It's showing you could have ended it any time, but chose to teach instead. That kind of dominance hits different.
Generation from Floyd's generation to this generation didn't get to see it come. That's just like we never get to see Michael Jordan play, right? But we remember when he used to play. Come on. So.
We're seeing all these crazy exhibitions. Maybe we see Floyd and Terence in an exhibition. That'd be something crazy as well.
Just to have two great guys that completed a lot of things in their life of boxing and come together and just give the fans something to.
So that's it, everyone. From Boots calling out Bud, to Boosey firing back, Roy and Bradley dropping bombs from their own angles, and Coach Calvin Ford saying Crawford practically let Canelo borrow mercy, this fight talk has been pure chaos in the best way. Every opinion just keeps adding fuel to the fire, and that's what makes it so electric. It leaves us asking the real question, is Crawford truly unbeatable, or was Boots built to finally crack the code? That kind of debate is what keeps boxing alive, legacy, pride, and the next big moment when the torch might finally be passed. Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts below, Bud or Boots? Who really holds the upper hand? And could Crawford ever risk it all against the Giants? Like Bradley said, let's get this debate started. We'll see you next time.